Howdy there, folks. You know, there's a lot of controversy going on in the horse world here about what kind of halter should you use, or what kind of halter is the best to use. This is my old buddy Leroy, and so I'll show you on him kind of the points that I look at about halters. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't really matter what kind of halter you use. I like to live and die by the saying, it's a poor craftsman who blames his tools. So I can get just as much done in a nylon halter as I can one of these rope halters, or one of the even skinnier rope halters, and a lot of the time even in a leather halter. I like to use rope halters simply because they're just a little lower maintenance. You know, you can ball them up and put them in your back pocket if you want to. And it's kind of nice to have as a backup. Or you can, the nice thing about this rope too is that it's really strong. So if you got a horse that has a problem pulling back, you know your halter isn't going to break. Now that's not a plus for some people. Some people like the leather halters and the leather halters kind of look like this flat halter here, except for these fabric parts here are made out of leather instead. And this is perfectly serviceable. This is just as usable, just as useful. These have a tendency to get a little stiff or hard when they sit out in the sun, but then again, most fabrics do. And if you're more comfortable working a buckle to catch your horse than you are tying a knot every time, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and use your use what you're comfortable with. That's what I do. I use what I'm comfortable with. The points that, so some people, like I was saying some people like to use the leather halter because it will break, because this top strap will break if a horse pulls too hard, and then it won't injure your horse. I find that horses that have a pullback issue and have learned that they can break their halter, it becomes more of a response, just, oh, I'm tied up, let me see if I can break my halter, as opposed to a response of fear or claustrophobia, especially once you put some good training on them. So that's kind of why I like the rope halters. The other reason is, especially right here, you see this rope is pretty narrow. This is a little bigger. I kind of liked this at the time that I got it because it just reminds me of Bozell a little bit, the thickness, but it's soft and pliable and easy. It really, like I said, doesn't matter what you use. I find when I'm doing groundwork with a rope halter, the horse can become a little bit lighter because this fabric here is about the width of 2 fingers. And if you put 2 fingers against the bridge of your nose where the bone is, you can lean on that pretty good. But if I just use the side of my finger, about the width of a single strand of this rope, and pressed right there on that same bone, ow, that kind of hurts. So that's the same idea here. They're not able to lean on this halter quite as much when you're doing groundwork, which will make them lighter. But keep in mind that you can also be more severe with a rope halter. Not really, when people take it into the realm of using bits, then it's a whole other stratosphere in terms of strength and coercive power that you can use with bits. So that's why people don't think of a rope halter as being all that corrective or severe, but it certainly is more corrective, harder to lean on than a nylon or than one of those flat halters. So those are just a couple of things to keep in mind when it comes to tack. But remember, you should be able to get your horse trained to a high level regardless of what tools you use, because it's a poor craftsman who blames his tools. It's just the same way it's a poor craftsman who kind of gives all the credit to his tools or gimmicks. So anyway, just some thoughts there for you.